Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lean.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. It is Kathy. If you can hear me and see me this morning, say hello, say good morning. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up that everything is working. Let me know. Good morning, Efran, Mikey, Halo. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, see me. Hello, Ben. Also, let me know where you're coming in from, because we always, like to see our global audience. Hello, great, Cheryl. Thank you. All right. Seems like my video, audio, all working good. Who's trading gold? Who's trading gold this morning? Who is waiting to trade gold with Boris when we kick off around 9:30? Let me know. Gold is on the move. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about what's, all of the big events on this week's calendar. We're rocking and rolling here in the markets. And this is one of the big trends that we talked about in our first session in January, where I said it's going to be all about headlines and geopolitics to kick off the year. And it seems like it's very much so. Great. Jay trading gold from 445 to 501. Great job. Cheryl, is all over gold here. 5,000 is where we're headed, right? It certainly seems like it. Hello from Dubai, Uganda. If you're brand new, also let us know that you're new, because we always like to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on, to your questions. Now, to kick off, I'd like to, that I always like to have an interactive session. So I want you to type in the 3 reasons why gold is at a record high this morning. 3 reasons why you think gold is at a record high. Let's see. What are the 3? Maybe there's more reasons why gold is at a record. I want you to share your thoughts, because this helps me know that you're understanding, you're learning. On Mondays, what we tend to do is, we get you prepared for the brand new trading week. I basically walk you through all the fundamental stories, everything you need to be aware of. We take a look at the data, we take a look at the charts, and then right before the New York Open, Boris comes in and gets you all ready to trade gold and Nasdaq. So it's a very fun session. People really love this, because we roll from preparing for the trading week to trading the trading week. So what do we got? All right. SBK says geopolitical tensions, rate cut bets. Satapew says Fed independence and focus again. We've got Jason, who says that we've got war, BRICS, geopolitics. These are all front and center. And then what else? President against the Fed chairman, because stocks are going to crash sooner or later. We always say that, right, Tony? But until, really this market and the markets in general should show you that stick with the trend until it bends. And when we say bend, we mean, we'll take a look at the charts. I'll tell you exactly what we mean by bend. And until that happens, you've got to stay long. And right now, I can't say that has definitely not happened yet in stocks. But at some point it will, and I'll let you know what to be watching. But all of you are right. I mean, basically it's three primary things, but it's a lot of other things too. Maybe 3 or 4 things that let's just go to our gold charts and list them all out together. Okay. Hold on one second. I'm going to share with you my screen. We're going to look at gold, and we're going to talk about all of the reasons and explain to you all the reasons why gold is at a record high. And then based upon that, talk about whether it's going to continue to go to a record high. So if you will bear with me and you will indulge me, I'm going to share my screen 1 second. Okay, I'm going to share my entire screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do that. All right. Okay. First off, green on the screen. BK trends meter showing on a 1-day chart, 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, still green on the screen across every single major time frame and major moving average that we look at. So what this means is that for now, the uptrend's still intact. Even on an ultra short-term basis, it has not changed. And if we bring in the BK EMA meters, which some of you love EMAs, I do too, but SMAs just keep me a little bit more grounded in the big trends. We'll put it on the bottom right. You will see that the EMA meter is also green on the screen. So what that means is that on a short-term basis, long-term basis, it's still bullish. Now you see that this just turned a little red. So it means that maybe we may be nearing a top in gold today, but maybe not. All right, so let us talk about what is driving gold higher. So why is gold at a record high? And you're going to go through all the reasons why. And let me move this up a little bit. And by understanding why it's at a record high, we can understand why, whether or not it's going to continue. So let's start with geopolitical tensions. We've got 2 of them, right? We got Iran and Venezuela. Now, Venezuela, I don't want to say it's over, but it's definitely out of the headlines, meaning that, they captured Maduro, and it's, if you go on any major news website or paper or whatever, it's no longer the big story. And so it's kind of out of the headlines. The market's moved on. Right now, the main headline on a geopolitical basis is Iran. They had those deadly protests over the weekend. Trump has said they're kind of almost crossing the red line and has threatened the possibility of military action. So that's a big deal. And that in of itself could be enough to drive gold to a record high, because Iran is a much bigger issue than Venezuela in many ways, especially it becomes more of a military conflict. Obviously, a very huge deal, and I don't think it's going to disappear from the headlines anytime soon. Now, Trump did say this morning or yesterday that Iran is willing to negotiate, but I'm not sure really if that's going to come out anything. Either way, geopolitical tensions are front and center, and probably not going away soon, because we have Iran, we have Greenland, we have Venezuela, and all of that will keep investors nervous. And when they're nervous, they seek safety in safe haven assets like gold. Number 2, you've got it, my friends. The clash Trump-Powell showdown. Now, over the weekends, basically, they opened up, the Department of Justice opened up a criminal investigation on Powell over the renovations of the Washington headquarters. And this completely brings Fed independence into question. And it's significant for a few issues. Number one, it tells us that, the Trump administration will do all that it takes to pressure the Fed to lower interest rates and keep interest rates low. We know that that's the case. And so lower interest rates, keep interest rates low is bearish for the dollar and good for gold. And that whoever comes in, whoever's nominated afterwards, will probably face the same type of political pressure. And as our friend Richard points out, what this basically does is it challenges the Federal Reserve's independence. And by challenging the Federal Reserve's independence, it makes investors, economists, and traders from around the world question whether they want to hold as much U.S. assets. It increases the risk premium of holding dollars because the Fed, the independence of the Fed is basically supposed to assure the markets that their focus is on the long-term stability of the U.S. economy and what's good for the U.S. economy over the long term, and not what's good for the markets over the short term or what's politically positive. So, foreign investors cutting U.S. assets or holding them less, especially with stocks already at record highs, is contributing and moving it to where? To the safety of gold. Now, all of this has driven the US dollar lower, which is positive for gold. Now, the most important thing that everyone should be aware of is the fact that the number one most important driver of gold, aside from geopolitical headlines, is really where the US dollar is going, right? Because the gold is priced in US dollars. And because gold is priced in US dollars, it has what we call an inverse relationship with the dollar. So when the dollar goes down, gold prices go up. When the dollar goes up, gold prices go down. So right now, because the Trump administration is pressuring the Fed to cut interest rates, and the dot plot from the Fed only priced in one, which is very conservative, one interest rate cut in 2026. That's too little. Even without the pressure from the Trump administration, one is too little. And between the pressure in the Trump administration and then Powell's term ending in May, a new Fed president coming in, the question is, will Powell cut interest rates between January and May? And if he does, then we'll definitely get 1 to 2 more towards the end of the year. If he holds back between January and May, then we'll get 1 and then at most 2, I think. But either way, it all depends on data, right? This is a big data week. NFPs were mixed. We have U.S. inflation and retail sales this week. So this is a very, very big week for U.S. data. And even without this drama of the Department of Justice putting a criminal investigation on Powell, the inflation data is expected to be softer. And so all of this, and don't forget, how can I forget? We still have the Supreme Court decision on Trump tariffs. It was supposed to happen last week. They kicked the can down the road. It's supposed to happen today. I don't know whether that's happening or not. We'll see. But these are all the reasons why gold is at a record high. And the bottom line is it all means uncertainty. So now let's backward engineer. The question is, yes, we also have bank earnings this week. And this is the kickoff of the earnings season. So we also have bank earnings, although I don't really think it's contributing to gold. So now the question is, will gold hit 5,000? Maybe, let's be a little bit more modest. 4,700, 4,800. The answer to that question, or our attempt to answer the question, lies in these 6 things. So let's dive into each of one of them. Now, will geopolitical tensions ease and the Iran situation go away and Trump reach a deal on Greenland in the next week or 2 or 3? Probably not. And because of that, geopolitical intentions are going to remain very intense. And I think that will keep investors nervous, put them into gold. Number two, we ask ourselves, what do you think? Do you think the Trump-Powell showdown will have a resolution in the next 1 to 3 weeks? Type into the chat box, because I want to look at some of your comments. Type in the chat box whether you think the Trump-Powell showdown is going to have a resolution in the next 1 to 3 weeks. All right, I think I covered all the comments that you guys made. No, from Preach of the Word of God Ministry. John says no. I mean, yes, China's buying a lot of gold. That's all central bank diversification for all of these reasons. So every single one of you is saying no. And it is drama, as Ben said. But every single one of you are saying no, you do not think that the Trump-Powell showdown is going to end. In fact, it's probably going to intensify. And all of that, and maybe even Trump will announce his nominee in the next 1 to 3 weeks. And that nominee will probably be ultra dovish. So number two, that is probably going to worsen before it improves. Another reason why gold could extend higher. Foreign investors cutting U.S. assets, like China buying more gold. All of this is only going to give investors a greater reason to hold on to the gold, not sell them, and maybe even buy more. Move into the safety of the physical asset, particularly with stocks already so elevated. They maybe want to park the money in the safety of something else. So I don't think 3 is going to change. Number 4, will the US dollar continue to fall? That is 4 and 5, right? Because this week we have important data. We have US inflation and retail sales data. And, I'll talk about what the outlook for both is in a second. But so far, the labor market numbers were kind of mixed. Job growth we know is weak, but earnings growth is stronger. The unemployment rate improved. Not so terrible. The non-farm payrolls report does not give the Fed a reason to cut interest rates in January. Will inflation and retail sales, regardless of how weak or strong they are, I think you and I will all agree that it will not move the needle for the Fed. They're going to need more than January data. They need January data, February data to decide whether or not they're going to cut interest rates. And I think there's zero chance that Powell is going to cut interest rates in January, unless, of course, stocks crashed or something completely left field happens, which you never know. None of the data this week or last week is going to cause the Fed to cut rates. So while U.S. inflation and retail sales could affect gold on a short-term basis, 1 to 3 is going to be more important. And number 6, the SCOTUS decision on Trump tariffs. How could that impact gold? Well, it depends. I don't think it's going to, I think we talked about this last week. I don't think the Supreme Court decision is going to have a lasting impact on gold. For those of you that don't know, the Supreme Court is supposed to decide whether Trump tariffs are illegal or not. And even if they decide that it's not legal, I think it's going to be debated. They're going to appeal it, and we're not going to or they're going to say current ones will remain in place. Future ones will be illegal. I don't know how it's going to play out, but if they do think it's illegal, there's going to be some short-term benefit to gold for sure, because it means more uncertainty on how it's going to play out. So the point I want to make to you is that right now, there's no reason to believe that this rally in gold will stop. Now, outside the fact that on a technical basis, it's at a record high, but gold has moved at a record high throughout last year into this year, and it's just kept on going. Gold is also one of those assets that loves to magnetize towards important numbers. 4,750, 5,000, those are very important numbers. And so I think it's going to at least try to go to 4,750, probably even 5,000, because it loves to magnetize on those numbers. Now, how do you trade it? Let's remove our drawing. First of all, gold is at a record high. I'm going to pop on the dollar index. Okay, so we're going to pop on the dollar index, and hold on. I'm going to move this to the left-hand side. All right, and let's just hide my moving averages. So we move this to the left-hand side. This is the dollar index, is the blue line. And candlesticks is gold. The number one thing that you should be doing if you're trading gold is that, I'm going to put this on the weekly chart, is that you should be watching how the US dollar is moving on a daily basis, on an intraday basis. So if the dollar starts to show some signs of stabilization, it's probably going to lead to a correction in gold. But you can see, if I just cross here, there's a very strong inverse relationship, meaning that when the dollar soars, gold tends to suffer a little bit. But sometimes they'll move together. But keep your eye on the US dollar. And on a technical basis, you all have different indicators that you watch. But the most important indicator that I think you should be following to decide whether the trend is over is going to be the 50 SMA. The 50 SMA is kind of the deciding mark between uptrend and downtrend for a lot of institutional investors. That's where they like to set their stops. So the uptrend, I know it's kind of far, and of course, if we have some shorter term levels in between, like the 20 SMA. If it drops below 4,400, we'll probably correct here down to 4,250. But we really need to close below the 50 SMA, and that's when we're going to have the true correction in gold. And that is the same as for stocks. Stocks are pulling back. One of you said that stocks are at record highs, and so it's already pulling back. But you can see, even with the pullback in the Nasdaq, we still have a lot of green on the screen, and we need to close below the 50 SMA for a deeper correction. Same thing with the Dow. We need to close below the 50 SMA to really be in trouble zone. 100 SMA is the key if we're looking at the real bull bear trend of stocks, but 50 I think is 20 is when we're going to have deeper correction to 50, and the 50 is when, the outlook really, really shifts and everyone starts to turn negative. So for now, the uptrend remains intact. Yes, 300 points down in the Dow futures seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but still, it doesn't even breach the 20 SMA. And you can see in the short-term meters, 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, 1-hour chart, starting to see a little bit of green. Maybe we've seen the max of the move, which tells us that we've seen the max of the move for today. So that is, so keep an eye on this. This helps you to decide whether or not we've fully turned red, or a lot. It's kind of accelerating its losses on a short-term basis, or we're finding stability. Because when we start to get greens on the short-term charts, like in the 5-minute, 25 SMA, 20 SMA, show signs of stability. How can you get the EMA? How to get the trend meters? These are 100% free. So many different ways. Use the edge code for Tradeify, for Hola Prime, for Think Capital. Use BK Save for Apex. Use Edge also works for Top One. Whoever you're buying your prop trading accounts for, send us your receipt after you use our code, and we'll activate it for you. Also, or you can become a BK member. You'll get those free as well. So many ways to get these BK trend meters free. Now, let's talk about the data that we expected this week. So I said that the two most important data for the U.S. this week is going to be retail sales and inflation. And that starts tomorrow. So last night, we had really good household spending data, which is Australia's new version of their retail sales report. They do not work on wealth charts right now, but they're trading view indicators. Almost everyone has trading view these days. Household spending is Australia's retail sales number. It was very strong. Part of the reason why Aussie and Kiwi is, hold on. I'm going to type use edge code with Think Capital, Hola Prime. You can have Axie Select. You don't need a code for that. Just use our link. Tradeify, Top One, and you'll get that. You'll get the free meters. So going back to this, No data today, nothing really that important. It's really just the headlines, the beginning of the week. Tomorrow is when we get the US inflation data. So you can see the market is looking for the US inflation data to be right in line with expectations. We know that that rarely happens. So whenever I look at inflation data, I always like to look at gasbuddy.com, which seems to be down this morning. Oh, here it is. So because gas prices play a really big role in how prices are in the US, prices at the pump. So you scroll down to gasbuddy.com, you go under media, fuel price data and analysis, and you will see that the green line, the green is current, blue is what was 1 year ago, black is 2 years ago. We only care about green. And you can see in December to January, gas prices went down a lot. So gas prices went down a lot, and that will drive inflationary pressures lower. So I think that the risk is to the downside. I think we could have a downside surprise for inflation. If we do, that would probably drive the dollar lower even more and gold even higher. That is the main event. We also have some other data like new home sales, some other Fed speak, which is always important to listen to. Weekly ADP employment change, but there's no set time. But inflation will be the most important event risk on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have retail sales. So retail sales, you can see that the market is looking for relatively good retail sales, stronger retail sales. And I think it's going to be true because holiday shopping was really, really good. And so I think, it was much better than everyone anticipated. So I think that that is also going to translate into stronger, that's also going to translate that is going to translate into maybe a little bit of recovery in the dollar and reinforce what everyone's kind of thinking, which is that even if we have the weaker inflation data, it's not going to be enough to prompt the Fed. It's not going to be enough to prompt the Fed to cut interest rates in January. And you can see, we always like to look at Fed Fund CME, Fed Fund futures. And you can see here in CME Fed Fund futures that, where are we? The market is pricing in a 95% chance of no change in January. And then in March, current interest rates are 3.5%, 3.25%. So you look down here, market's only pricing in a 25% chance of a interest rate cut. And then in April, about a 36, 37% chance. So we don't get anything above 50% until June, which is when we have a new Federal Reserve chairman. So that's something interesting that I think we should all, keep in mind, because that is something that I think, will be quite impactful for the markets. Hold on one second. Okay, so that's what the market is pricing in. Now, taking a look at the retail sales data, those are the two big events, and they happen Tuesday and Wednesday, front of the week. Will decide how the dollar trades in the back of the week. Other data like existing home sales, more Fed speak, beige book, don't think is going to be very important. Thursday, we have nothing. We have Empire State jobless claims is always important for the U.S. So that is, something that I think is something we always kind of watch for the U.S. So definitely, pay attention to that. And then that's it for the U.S. So it's going to be Empire State, Philly Fed, jobless claims, retail sales, and inflation. For other countries, what's on the docket? So we are just going to do the high-level events. We have nothing else. monthly GDP from the UK. That's not really that market moving. Let me just make sure we're not missing anything on the calendar. So on Tuesday, we also have Chinese trade data. Interesting, not that market moving for the majors. Japan was on holiday yesterday. They reopen tonight, so that could move the yen a little bit. And UK's got industrial production numbers. That's always a little interesting, but that's pretty much it. It's going to be a US dollar focus with inflation, retail sales, jobless claims, Philly Fed, Empire State, and of course, all of the headline risk, and then also the bank earnings. The bank earnings are very, very important because we kick off the earnings season. If they're okay, it'll support stocks. If they start turning really bad, that's going to be, bad news. And yes, the choice of Fed chair will be very important. I think they're going to announce it in the next 1 to 3 weeks. So we'll have to see when that happens. But right now, uptrends, Dow stocks are consolidating, but we need, and I do think that it could pull back a little bit more. But still uptrend remains intact. Dollar yen hit a 1-year high this morning. So dollar yen hit a 1-year high this morning. But the BK trend meters, the green EMA meters, which are faster than the SMA meters, all still green. So dollar yen uptrend still intact. Where's resistance in dollar yen? Resistance in dollar yen is 158.88. That's where, I think that it could head next. Euro dollar moving lower, but very strong rally today. This is a huge candle, and this type of candle usually has continuation. Now, short-term measures tell us that the rally, today's rally has probably seen its course. This is what it tells us. Today's rally has probably seen its course, and that we may not see, that we're not going to see new highs during the New York session. But, on a longer term basis, I think, or not longer term, but at least this week, I think we're at a little bit more continuation, probably up to the 117 mark. But then it kind of looks like, we might find some resistance there, but we'll have to see. It is important, though, in the long term. I'm still very bullish euros this year because the ECB is going to probably raise interest rates at a time when the Fed will probably be done or looking to cut interest rates further. So I think that's going to help euros. Dollar Swiss pull back today in dollar Swiss. Short term, a lot more red than green here. So I think we're going to see more of this lower in the move. And dollar CAD, also pulling back in dollar CAD here. Let's see what we've got in dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, barely any sort of move here in dollar CAD. This is not even breaking below the 5 SMA. Short-term meters turning green. The 50 SMA is important resistance. I do think dollar CAD is going to pull back more because we had really good Canadian data last week. Jobs number was good. IB PMI was good. All of it was good. But and so at least dollar CAD, I think we're going to pull back more. I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy CAD this week. Pound dollar, huge, breakout candle. I think this is going to have continuation up to the above 135. Aussie rallying, Kiwi rallying. Also looks like both are going to move higher this week, finding support right at the 50 SMA. All right. If you are a member, you don't have access to the BK trend meters, just email me at Kathy@bktraders.com. We'll look up your account, make sure it all works. If you are not, if you don't have access to it, as I said, use Edge code or BK Save. You also get huge discounts, 25% off Think Capital, Hola Prime, 25 to 30% off Tradeify and Top One, depending upon what the best discount is right now. Get the discount and you get the trend meters free. So it's really, really cool. Now, before I go and open up the floor to questions and move to live trading, I just want to remind you all, don't forget to sign up for Prop Trader Fest. We now have 22 speakers, more than 1,000 people are signed up. It is, it is the biggest online prop trading event ever. We've got powerhouse traders, 22 traders who are going to teach you strategies. Big Daddy Max is the king of trading ORB. David Green is the mentor of mentors. Peter Tuchman is the oldest person still working on the New York Stock Exchange floor. Candace, she made $1 million in 32 days trading ICT. She's going to tell you how to do this. Zamco, also $1 million payout. Austin Silver trades VWAP. Trader Nick, trades fundamentals like I do. Tyler trades fair value gap. Daniel, we just added the prop firm kid. Daniel, he had 200 payouts. And he had just recently, he pulled out $100,000 in a month. So they're all going to talk about how they did it, how they traded. And, you've got a schedule here that's great, all for charity. And so make sure you claim your free spot at proptraderfest.com. January 24th. It's going to be an amazing event. You don't want to miss it. So make sure that you register for Prop Trader Fest. All right. Dollar CAD shows U.S. economy is better in recent months. Well, the Canadian data has actually been better. But even though the Canadian data has been better, Canada suffered quite a bit from lower oil prices as well as just the trade tensions with the U.S. And so I'm still bullish, but it's not like we're in a huge rally. So maybe CAD yen could be, well, maybe not CAD, maybe Euro CAD could be interesting. I thought all professional traders use fundamentals to some degree, but not all. Most people don't understand fundamentals enough to use them effectively. But of course, fundamentals matter. Any other questions? All right. So that's what I want you to do right now is go to proptraderfest.com, register for the free event, and make sure that you check out our sponsors to use the code for to get the trend meters for free. All right, now I'm going to invite Boris to join us. He's going to roll into live trading, gold as well as Nasdaq. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Oh, got a frog in my throat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day. I created over the weekend a full video tutorial on the BFF indicator. This is the latest one, the one we used, and it has both the trend and the kind of counter trend in trend video chapters in it, totally free. Let me put the link in here. So if you guys are watching me, are interested in finding out what the strategy, the philosophy behind all of this is, feel free to watch these videos. The link is right over there. And I basically go through and I show you exactly how we configure all this indicator step by step in our settings, why we do the trend idea. We actually have a gold trend signal just popping up right now. If this neon green comes in, we'll probably take that gold to the upside.
Grab the screen and show that, Boris.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that I'm not on my screen. Hang on a second. Share screen. I want to do this window share. Okay, sorry. You see, it just disappeared. We actually had the signal. It just disappeared, so we don't take it. But gold had a big run while Kay was talking, all the way to 6:30. Then it had a massive sell-off. I made the money on the upside, but then I took a small loss here because I tried to buy this retrace move here, and I think I just missed it. It was 20. No, I missed it. No. I actually made this one, but then I got too arrogant, and I broke my own rules. I bought this one, which I shouldn't have bought, because it was already clear to us that this is no longer a retrace, but a downdraft in gold. And I got stuffed on it.
I just have to chime in, Boris. This rebound in gold that you're seeing on your left-hand side chart, that was exactly when we're talking about the trend meters turning green, and we've seen the max of the downtrend, the max of the move in gold. So we're starting to turn upwards.
Right, and like right now we have you see this little neon green signal that's telling us we're actually going to go long gold here, and you'll see. Let's follow it on this chart over here. See if we can get it up here. Let's go to MGC. Sorry, and you see me. So we're trading our typical $2, $4 scalp on this. We'll see if this one works. This is the momentum part of my trade, where we're trading basically momentum in an uptrend. But of course, you guys know that what I really, really love to do is actually trade the value in an uptrend. So sell off in an uptrend has been a super, super great trade. Oops, looks like we're going to get stuffed out. Yeah, gold is still consolidating. So we ate that one, which is fine. But actually, as I'm watching this now, let's watch this very, very carefully here. Do we have a do I have a buy signal? Do we have another buy signal here, which would be like this little value proposition? Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'm a little bit late on it, but let's see if this works. The idea here is that we're still very much not very much, but a little bit in an uptrend. Let me go to full screen with you guys so you can actually see gold in full screen, because it's hard to see it on this double screen because I'm trying to follow this thing. Hang on, let me just go over here. Oh, it looks like we got done. It looks like I did get done on that value trade. Let me show it to you. Okay, so gold both. Yes. So, and this is why you guys, I love to buy the dips. Buying dips in gold right now is literally the least or the most profitable, least risky trade there is. As you can see over here, let's get rid of the momentum trade. Sorry. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I want to make sure my settings are correct here. Okay, this is a sell-off, right? This is sell-off in gold, and I actually have it on much more. I just set myself up for. Okay, so here's what you really, here's the trades that you really want to make. This is, as you'll see in my video, the money trade in gold. The biggest problem with this trade is, of course, there's only like 3 trades in this hour. They're all winners, but I'm greedy, so I was trying to trade more. But this is the money trade that I show you in my video that is so cool. Because let me get big on my thing. So as you can see here, gold is in an uptrend, right? We're in a green slope. Then we have this little tiny sell-off. Buying this sell-off, buying the dip, such an easy trade. As a matter of fact, you could make the argument that there's virtually no retrace. Like you don't need big stops. I do have big stops here just to give you room, but you don't need them. You're buying literally at the low, boom, same. One example. Same thing over here. You buy this. This was a $2 pop that worked very nicely. You buy this. This was a $2 pop that worked very nicely, right? As I said, the biggest problem with this setup is that it just, it doesn't happen every minute. And so you want to do it every minute. But when it happens in gold, it is such a money trade. It's so easy to try to capitalize on, because the idea here is we are in a very strong upward asset, and these dips in an uptrend are incredibly lucrative opportunities with very high accuracy, right? You had a 3 for 3 over here. If you go backwards in time here, for us to kind of see this, London session had very little activity, but here's 1, here's 2. So now you're like 5-0 over here. You're 6-0 over here in Asia. A little bit of small, not enough activity, and then all of this activity in the prime Asia hours, the prime Asia hours of 7 to 9. All of it worked, right? Only this one was the loser. Every one of these is a winner. This is the only one. So you literally have like 1 out of 8, 1 out of 9 that are losers in gold. And of course, the other thing that you had was this was a winner too, because if you bought this, it came back down and came back up nicely. So the only thing that you had was gold had such a massive rally at the begining of the night in Asia. We literally went, this was the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life, actually. It was a 60-point rally. Like there was just literally no pausing whatsoever. So when you try to buy the dip after a 60-point rally, you're obviously going to have a lot more profit taking than just 1 or 2 points. And therefore, in this particular case, buying the dip took it was better to just wait a little bit before the dip started to work. But overall, you can just see that the buying the dip trade is just such a powerful trade in gold. Really, the only biggest problem with it is that you don't have enough opportunities, to make it. So that's the story with gold, and it's a pretty similar story actually with Nasdaq. Like buying the dip in Nasdaq is also a really good idea for the most part. And the thing about Nasdaq, of course, is that we just don't have we don't have the volatility until the New York session opens up. Like right now, if you're buying these little dip moves for a 10-point target, 20-point stop, all of these things worked very nicely as well. But what we're really looking for is the New York session, when these things start to really pop, and then we can try to take a look at real opportunities for us on the trade. Yeah, Walter says that buying a dip at certain levels is just great. And the whole point is that the dots indicator really makes it easy for you to be able to to isolate those key levels when the dips are really valuable. So okay, let me actually, we have gold on both, so we want to look at Nasdaq on this one. Nasdaq is popping a little bit, as you can see. Market is about to open. We got 1 minute to go before we open up. Those of you guys who are asking me about wealth charts, we are. Oh, hold on a second. Um, hold on, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just had to text somebody. Well, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Where do we find the video? The link above is for the PDF. It is. I don't think it was. But let me make sure that I gave you the right link. I thought I changed the link. Hang on a second. Is the link not working? Oh, it looks like it doesn't. Hang on a second. Let me just check and make sure that I gave you the right link. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong link. Okay, I'll get you the link in just a minute. All right, let's watch Nasdaq. Nasdaq is popping to the upside. We have um, 5 seconds left. We'll try to trade this, although it's right at the open. All right, let's trade it. Oh, wow, boom, boom, boom. That was super fast. I bought it and it blew through the highs. That was a very, very fast move, guys. Sorry, you couldn't even see this trade. That's how fast it was. All right, that's fine. We'll keep trying to see if we can trade the upside to Nasdaq. Now gold is negative trend now. It's below. So now we're no longer looking at buying the purples or the reds or the neon reds. We're only looking to buy the neon greens, the turn trades in gold. So for now, we have nothing in gold to do. We're not going to trade the sells. We're going to just focus on the buys in gold when we get the opportunity, because those are going to be the highest probability trades that we can do. Okay. With Nasdaq, this was a very, very simple trade. I'll show this to you. Here was the Nasdaq trade. It was so fast that see, like I was in at 68, out at 78 in less than a second. And now we have another one with challenging session highs. This is one of my favorite kind of momentum trades. So we will trade this in Nasdaq. I'll put the gold over here. Sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second. I am. Let's buy this. Yeah, I'm a little bit late. All right, forget it. No trade on this one. I'm sorry. I'm just got distracted at the last second here. But this was a clean buy. This was also a clean buy in gold, by the way. Shit, I'm missing all these trades. Sorry, guys. Somebody's just. I got to deal with some emergencies here. So you know the signals. You know where to take them. If I'm not taking them, you know that where they are. So I'm in gold right now at 9.4, looking for 11.4 on gold on a reversal trade here. I should have been in at 8.1. I guess 10.1 should have been the look. Whatever. I'm just executing a little bit late on all of this stuff because I'm distracted. But anyways, all of these trades, really, really good trades if you're taking them properly. This is a reversal buy trade in gold. I'm going to get out of this gold trade right now just because I came in a little bit late. Okay, hang on a second. Okay. As the open settles down, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Tomorrow, mini marathon live trading is the inflation data 8 to 10. Really going to be good. We're going to try to straddle a few. Tomorrow is definitely a straddle day, so we're going to straddle a few accounts. Be sure. Let me show you. Apex is back to 80% discount. So if you want Apex, let's go into Apex. We're going to log in. I'm actually going to buy. I'm going to buy these accounts with you right now, because they're so good. Let me just do the. You have to do the authenticator. Four two seven seven two four. 42774. Okay, let me just show you the big discount in Apex. I'm gonna buy a couple. Let's buy. Okay, we'll buy a 50. I'll buy one Wealth Charts one. Sorry, this one. You want to check this one, and you want to check this one, and you want to make sure you say BK Save. And you'll see that it's only like $30-$40, I believe. Yeah, $40 for a $50,000 account, which is just dirt cheap, right? So let's buy one. Oops, I don't want to show this to you. Sorry. And okay, we're back in business. I'll show this to you now. So we bought the account, and I'll do the same thing with Tradeovate, and we'll try to straddle them both. Really great deal. Go load up on a few of them right now, because tomorrow we're absolutely going to trade those things on a straddle basis, and then maybe even post-event basis as well. All right. Anyways, let's look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq keeps hitting fresh highs here, so really interesting possibility. Hopefully, no fresh highs here. But gold was a nice clean turnaround trade over here. Let me see what Nasdaq wants to do here. I'm only trading the. Let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to get see what all the signals going through here. Yeah, shit. I missed the Nasdaq trade here because I didn't have this thing on here. But Nasdaq was a clean, clear trade, running through the highs. Trade should have been here, not there. I took it late. So if I'm going to eat this, it's only because of my bad execution, not because of bad signal. But yeah, it's just coming down, just hitting, just too much of a retrace here. All right, I'm eating my stops here. That's fine. We'll recalibrate and trade. Now, I'll trade focus now that I'm in the zone. Saber took the 400 in the ESA. Yes. Can I share the Apex link? Yeah, let me share the Apex link with you guys. Just one sec. Okay, Apex link is in the chat. Coming back up. If this holds, we're going to go long because this is still running session highs. Meantime, gold is, Found the base of the 200, trying to rebuild itself higher. If this sells off, we're going to try to buy the first dip in Nasdaq, but we're going to just still chase. We're going to chase this trade if we can. I'm chasing this trade, just chasing. You know, the momentum trade is a chase trade, and the other trade is a reversal trade. Right? Gold got done. Sorry, Nasdaq got done, and I'm in gold, and I'm going to get out of gold too. So you can't see gold because of the way TradingView portrays. You know, you can only do one screen. It doesn't allow you to see it. But I was long gold and long Nasdaq, so we got both of those recovered, made them nice. The key when you're trading with me is just to follow my verbal cues. You can't follow my visual cues because one, it's going to be late on your screen, and two, because you know, I'm distracted as fuck doing a million different things. So my execution is always going to be much worse than yours. So listen to my cues. You know, if I'm telling you if it's a green neon, I'm going to go long, then you focus just on that and you do your thing. All right, everybody got the Apex link? Everybody got the PropFest link? All right, let me now, we have a second. Let me go find, oh man, I can't believe this dots link. I thought I had it. Just 1 second. So annoying. Thought I had the right link. Just bear with me a sec, guys. All right, try this link. I think that was a problem. I gave you the wrong link. Try this link over here. This one is going to get you to the videos. Let me know if you guys can see the videos. This is the link that explains all the videos. All right, so watching Nasdaq, we hit session highs. I'm going to get rid of all these trades so it doesn't distract us. Oops, sorry. And we're just going to look at the clean screen. What am I interested in Nasdaq right now? Right now, Nasdaq is session highs, but if we start, give me a purple or a better yet hot pink red label, meaning a, you know, sharp sell-off and an uptrend, I want to be there for that. I definitely want to be long that trade. Is that clear to everybody? All right, gold trying to scale back up towards the session highs. No, it's not passive prop videos. There was no passive prop videos this week, but you can use these. I mean, that's what we talked about in Pass the Prop. I sort of, you know, I'll put them into Pass the Prop as well because I had a problem with recording. The whole recording got messed up, so we couldn't do it. So that's one of the reasons I kind of made them was because it's sort of like a tutorial on buying the dips and trading the rips. And as I said, again, the most important thing is that you want to be buy biased in both of these trades. It's not like you can't make money on the short side, but 70% of the money is made on the long side, so it's much easier to concentrate on the long side. With gold, I think 80% of the money is made on the long side these days. And just time your trades. The only time I want to sell gold on the short side is right over here, where I get a double pink, you know, like two negative moves on gold, then it's worthwhile because then you have an indication of a sell-off. But other than that, from the highs, other than that, I really don't want to be involved in on the sell-off in gold. Gold is coming back down again now. If it gives me a slope is positive, so it's not going to give me anything yet. But if we start, if we start getting like a purple trade, I definitely want to be long gold here. Okay, here's a kind of a test of the strength of the uptrend. Here's NAS, purple, purple sell-off in NAS, 38 seconds. If this stays, it's going to be worth a shot for us to do this. So I'm just going to focus on NAS here on a buy to dip trade. 29 seconds left. If it holds, sometimes it just goes away. All right, I came in a little early. Let's see, if it's going to stuff me or not. And you see how easy that was? In and out, just in and out, right? In, out, boom. I bought the retrace. I got the 10 points. It was pretty easy. Anybody take that trade with me? DRD, where'd you see that? That's an interesting. Are they gonna Bitcoin NQ? Where'd you see that, DRD? The video link is right up in the chat, guys. I just literally posted a second ago. Just scroll up. So usually I like to take the first thing. Let's take this. What the fuck? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But generally, the signal that I like to take in all of these is actually the first hot pink, not the first purple. But I'm going to give it a shot here on NAS. And we're done again. Again, I buy the dip, I let it rip. Oh, new song. Buy the dip. Let's do that. We're going to create a new song by tomorrow. I will have one ready for you tomorrow. Okay, nothing to do. Oh, shit. Gold. We missed the gold. Could have taken the gold. Sorry, I was focused on NAS. What did Billy Joe and Bobby Sue do when they were chased by detectives in Texas? I forgot. DRD proposing concept daily recap audio. Oh, sorry. You heard this in Schwab, that Schwab is reporting that NQ is going to go 7 days a week. I took the gold in El Paso. Oh, that's what Billy Bob and nice. They took the gold in El Paso. Nice. All right. Pink label in gold. Let's focus on that. I told you I like the pinks better than like the purples. Let's see if the gold is going to do anything for us. I'll switch to gold over here. Do I get a pink? I get a pink, no pinks. No trades. All right, let me put the dots video link again. So if you guys want to download dots video, feel free. Especially for everybody who's new in the room here. If you're new in the room, you have not a fucking clue of what I'm talking about. This is for you. This explains the underlying thesis and how we trade, what we do, except it really kind of takes you in a little bit more advanced ideas, which hopefully will be helpful. Oh man, that's annoying. The gold dip, we totally missed the gold dip, but what are you gonna do? Let's look at NAS. NAS dip worked very, very nicely, right? NAS, are we gonna go fresh session highs? Are we doing fresh session highs? Let's see. Mm. $20.40 on gold, 10.20 on Nasdaq. Sometimes Nasdaq, really, if Nasdaq at around is bigger than 50 points, the trade should be 40.80, which I think it is actually. Was that trading 40.80? No, sorry. Trade is 40.80 and ticks on like on right now it should actually be 81.60, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go for a big 20-point move here. All right, we broke out 902. I'm waiting patiently. Nasdaq breaking out fresh highs. If this thing holds to neon green, we're going to hold it. We're going to buy it. 8-9 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Buy. All right, we're in NAS. Let's see if we can make some fresh session highs. Big moves. Big moves. Big moves. Big moves. Big moves, and we're going to take it out over here. Nice. Very nice. That was a big 20-point move in less than a minute. About $100 for me on that trade. Nice. Good job. Yeah, gold last night was freaking mad. Just mad in Asia. Insane. I totally agree. Anyways, the thing is that morning is kind of NAS, right? Morning is NAS time, and Asia morning which is evening New York is kind of gold time. You sort of focus on those two things in that time frame. You're golden. Not to mix metaphors. Who's new in the room here, guys? Say hello to me. Come on. Everybody seems to be very quiet today. Where are my newbies at? All right, I'm gonna stay patient here on NAS and see if we can get another pink buy, a retrace buy, a buy dip. Yeah, it's midnight UK for Asia. It sucks to be in London to trade Asia because it's midnight over there. See, that's what happens, man. That's what happens when you give up the empire. All right, watching NAS. Watching gold. Gold is just, straight up uptrend. This is kind of like mid uptrend. I don't mind taking this trade here as a momentum trade, but this is not like my favorite trade because momentum trades are always subject. So I'm going to take it actually smaller size here. They're always subject to retrace risk, except when we can catch them at the session highs. At that time, they're really, really kind of good. But when I'm buying the dip, generally what you see is that, there's very, very little follow through after the dip, which means I'm buying pretty much the low. And that gives me a really great entry price into the position. Like I can be correct in direction on gold and still get stopped out on momentum trades. That's what I'm saying in terms of accuracy. 3, 2, 1, buy. All right, I'm long gold, 17.3. What's the close on this thing? 17. So I should put myself to 19 on the exit. Okay. Let's see if this can hold. Gold retracing hard off this big pop move. Let's see if it comes up. Again, this is a much smaller position for me because less confidence in a midpoint momentum trade. This is really sort of mid-range, right? So we're in at 17. I think my stop is at, what was that, 13, right? Yeah, that's my stop. But we have the trade. With gold, I'd much rather be buying the purples or buying the pinks than buying the neon greens in this range of the zone. I probably should have done that. I took it just because I want to show you more trades, but I'm not loving it. Hey, Jason in Malibu. I can't speak. Jason in Malibu. Nice to have you. I hope the beach is beautiful and the weather is nice. Are you the only one left in California? Yeah, I got stopped out on this because I told you, the retrace risk was a little bit tough. All right, it was a tiny little blip. I took a very small bite. Now, this thing goes purple or pink. That could be a much more interesting trade for us on gold. That's a retrace trade. Jason, are you the only person left in California after the billionaire tax has been imposed? I hear all this stuff that everybody's leaving California. Is it true? Hey, OTR, get some coffee, drive safe, and be good. All right, here is gold. Gold's coming down. Is gold coming down into the retrace zone for us? Let's see. NAS holding steady. Hello, everybody. NAS going back to session highs. Let's watch that run. Oh, I heard that, speaking of OTR, I heard that the federal government has stripped California, the Department of Transportation, of all this money because California will continue to issue truckers licenses to foreigners, and because of all the accidents that have been on the road, federal government. I don't know if you heard about that, but that was clearly a big story in California because they're not getting federal funds from the Department of Transportation because they refuse not to give licenses to foreign drivers. I use a AI called Suno, S-U-N-O, to make some songs for me. It's as much an art as it is a science. Yeah. Oh, we're getting a purple in gold. Purple label, a retrace label that could be a dip buy for us. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. 20 seconds left on this one. Ah. 6, 7, 10. All right, I'm at 10.7. Let me switch to gold over here. Maybe you guys can see it. And I'm done. You know, sorry. By the time I switch screens, I'm done. So I told you I'm coming in, and I'm done. And another one bites the dust. Another dip bites the dust. No, I don't use a trailing stop on these super fast scalps. But oh shit! By the way, in the videos I talked about doing these big swing trades, which I just can't do with you guys because it's just not my personality. But in that video, I talked about how you could really make a ton of money doing. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me just show you. What the hell are we? Let's look at gold for a second on a swing trade basis, right? Let's go into. Hang on a second. I think this one I'm going to go. Is this? All right, we're going to take off a setup. I want to go into trend. Yeah, let me make sure that I have the right range constraint on this. No, range constraint is going to be 80. All right, so I don't know if Gloria's in the room, but you know, the people who like to trade the Christmas tree setup, right? This is the Christmas tree setup that's inside there, and I talk about that in the video. This is like money setup for you guys because this is a like a swing setup. Although in this particular case, I see this one could have clipped you out just barely. Oh, it's really annoying. This I love to trade this with a 5 target 10 stop, and it looked like it just clipped you for 10 before it went fully wild. But we actually have a Christmas tree setup coming up here. This might be worth a shot. Let's give it a shot. If this comes up as a Christmas tree setup, we'll trade this a 5 target 10 stop. Actually, let's do this on well charts because let's see if it's actually gonna stay there. Yeah, 619. Let's do this, and we're gonna buy this. Okay, so I have basically 4 target, 50 ticks, 100 ticks. So this is a $5 target, $10 stop on a swing basis in Christmas tree, right? Stuff that I just almost never trade, but I thought, you know, you guys can have a good time trading this a little bit with me. Let's see if we can just come back down a little bit here on this, adjust the move to the entry. This is basically the Christmas tree setup, and it's a great swing setup. I just don't have the patience or the personality to trade swing, but I'll trade it with you right now just to kind of show you. And I talk about that in the video, how you can set that up, where the signals are. Sorry, sorry, it's over here. This is it, right over here. Here's the swing setup, right? So effectively, what am I targeting here? I'm looking 1823. I'm looking for 23 on this thing, right? And I'm close. So 22.2. You know what? I'm going to flatten out. Good enough. Because I have zero patience for this. But if you are a swing trader, like these are $5 trades, $50 trades, $500 trades that are really, really sweet. That you can easily take using the Christmas tree setup, right? Really, really cool setup. And in gold, it really works so well across the structure. 19. Although the volatility these days, I think we almost have to make it. God, the vol here. I'm just looking at this. This literally 2 times where it's just like a minus super um, quick retrace for 10. I think at this point, I guess with when you have like a 13-point ranges, I think you probably have to make this into like a 612 type of a structure. The volatility in gold has gotten so big. You probably now have to trade that with like a 612 structure to do well. But when it does pop, it really creates beautiful trades. Look at this. If you do 603 all the way to 608, 609, you certainly could have done 12 here. And the other trades were like, there's one at here that was a nice clean trade. Nice clean trade, nice clean trade. You had great trades here, especially in a strong, swing format on Christmas trees. And honestly, the only adjustment you have to make is that because the volatility is so strong, you just got to give yourself plenty of room, right? Plenty of room to kind of make it work. Wow. Yeah, that sucks, OTR. Anyways, anybody take that Christmas tree with me? That was kind of a fun trade. Okay, going back now to, let's see what Nasdaq is doing. I think we missed some. Did I miss my Nasdaq trades? I guess I did. Where are my retrace trades in Nasdaq? I guess I don't have any yet. Wait, where's my counter trend trades? Let's see if I get a pink label in Nasdaq, I'll take it as a buy. Here we go. 37 seconds left. Let's see if this candle holds. Gold climbing back up. If you were just swinging, that just pretty much puts you right back into the P&L mode. Gold going to challenge the session highs. Once we get there, we're definitely going to take that trade. For now, we're just going to sit tight. Wow. Anybody take that Christmas tree trade? Because that is now +7, +8. We were in at 17. This thing is 26 now. Yes, no? Who's got the patience to do swing trades? Clean Subber took one. Nice. All right, we're kind of stalling out here. So don't forget, tomorrow, 8 to 10, Wednesday, 8 to 10, both days. Wednesday is going to be PPI. Tomorrow is going to be CPI. We're going to trade both of those. We're going to pre-game with straddle trades, and then we'll post-game with hopefully some good reactive trades. If it's low inflation, gold is just going to go to 4.7 by tomorrow. It's really crazy. But you can really see, how easy it is to make money on the buy to dip trade, or even like the swing trade in gold these days. Really, the only thing you need to just account for is the volatility retrace. That's the biggest challenge, is to give yourself enough of stops so that you're not unnecessarily stopped out. And that's tough. That's, it's a real art. We're climbing all the way through here. Oh, here we go. I wanted the pink in Nasdaq. 35 seconds. No, it doesn't give it to me. Oh. They're buying every dip. It's like it's we can't even get our foot in the door today on the retrace trades. All right, we'll stay patient. Yeah, so that's why, Judith, I'm saying the best trades are the buy to dip trades, not the momentum trades, because momentum trades are just kind of retracing everybody out, unless you're trading those big positional trades, like with Christmas trees, which work really well. But even there, you have to widen it out to a 6-12 instead of a 5-10 type of structure. All right, we're holding tight. Oh, what time is it? A few more minutes? Okay. Also, I made a video about wealth charts. You guys want to check it out on our YouTube channel. This one. I'll put the link in there. If you're interested in wealth charts, it's actually part 1 of 2, because the second one I'm going to talk about, we're going to just talk about trade copier, which is it's really, really underutilized and totally diamond in the rough asset of wealth charts. We're actually going to start trading a little bit of a couple of accounts through trade copier to kind of propagate our trades. But we are really challenging session highs here. All right, I'm gonna take a small trade here in gold. 27.9. I'm in at 27.9. Just kind of anticipation of running the highs. We have the neon green label here, as you can see. I'm glad you really liked the wealth charts video. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I like doing it, and hopefully we'll do the second piece, which is the trade copier. All right, let me put Nasdaq over here to the side. Let's see if we've got a Nasdaq. Oh, it was really close. It really came close to target. My target was 29.9 and the high was 29.4, half a dollar. Gold stalling in front of these session highs. This is why I took a very small piece on this trade. Let's see if this is, if it doesn't go through on the next candle, I'm probably just going to flatten out here. Yeah, I'm just going to flatten out. I'm out of here. Let's see if we can find a dip trade in gold. So I have a range suppression construct on this. If I took the range suppression off, I would have the purple. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the. I'm gonna wait for the pink label to come in before I want to come in, because gold obviously had a big rally, kind of died. Let's see if this dip trade would work for me. I wimped out. I should have just simply bought this one. Honestly, really, the first purple and gold just been a money shot almost every time. You know what the lesson is with gold? Don't chase, retrace. You know, if you're long here, you would have been at 24 and it went to almost 26. Nice clean trade here. Everything stalled out a little bit. The gold trade totally turn around here. Nasdaq running back up. I got done at 908. I got done at a high price on Nasdaq, but that's fine. Let me switch to Nasdaq over here. See if they can run it through the toward session highs a little bit now. Still very quiet. It's like usually the 10 to 11 o'clock hour has some activity, but we sort of had everything beforehand. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you guys are watching the gold, but if this thing goes pink, I'm going to be a buyer here on gold on the pink. Nasdaq just turned around big time. Ah, look at that. Totally flipped around. It was such a good trade. My attention is distracted by the Nasdaq trade. I guess we're just going to manage the Nasdaq trade, see if this thing can move. God, it's just so quiet. Gold totally flipped. That would have been such a nice trade here. 21 to 24. Super, super easy. Oh, gold making fresh moves here. Trying to challenge that 30 high. Definitely want to get long if this thing starts breaking out fresh session highs. Nasdaq finally working. Jesus, that took forever. Sorry guys, that took a really long time. It looks like everybody's wants to run session highs. Let's get ready to party. Gold making moves like Mick Jagger, the 85-year-old Jagger. I saw Mick Jagger last year at Meadowlands. Holy cow. 85 years old. The guy was unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. I literally don't know how he does it. I swear to God, there are athletes I've seen that are worse athletes than him. Just insane. Yeah, still performing, man. So is Keith Richards. But, you know, Keith Richards doesn't do anything. Jagger literally runs up and down like a mile-long stage at the Meadowlands, just all night long. I literally don't know how he does it. Drugs are good. I don't think, isn't it, did Jagger ever do drugs? I always thought it was Keith Richards. I thought Jagger was kind of like the clean cut boy. Or am I wrong? Gold, fresh session highs. Buying. All right, we're in gold. Let me flip it over to gold here. Sorry, I'm just watching gold. I'm out. Nice. So I just took a manual out, but I was. Let me show you where I was in. I actually think, you know what I should be doing. I think let me hang on a sec. Let me get out of this one. Got it. This is so annoying. I can't wait. By the way, I meant to tell you guys. So yeah, Well Charts is pretty much on its way to having the full indicator. And once we have that, it's going to be really, really good to be able to trade with that. Let me just settings. Oops, sorry. Let me show you where it was. Am I in the wrong account? Which account am I? No, I'm in the right account. Why is? Oh, because this is gold. It's MGC. Okay. Yeah, so this was it. I took the 30.8 because I knew it was kind of spiking, but this was session high run that was really, really clean, right? Really, really clean. Super easy to do. Just been hunting that all day long. Finally got it done. All right, guys. Get out of the air. Let's go all-time highs again. Yes, gold is hitting all-time highs. But you know that we're gonna run that thing. All right, guys. I gotta run. Good session today. I'm sorry, I got distracted with a million other things, but hopefully we're going to be within a day or two ready for Well Charts. Tomorrow it's going to be CPI. We're going to straddle it, and then we'll trade post-event. But I think the takeaway today was how easy it was to buy the dips in everything, right? All the dips made all the pips. So I think it's time for me to make the song. I'll make it overnight. Thank you guys so much. Hope everybody had a great day. Be sure to get Apex accounts, like I said. Be sure to get PropFest and everything else. Please register. Who has not registered for PropFest here today? We had a lot of people register. Really, really nice. Very excited for that. It's going to be a really great show coming up in 2 weeks from now, right? Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody tomorrow.